In the heart of Yorkshire, our health service is hard at work.
Emergency department, Barnsley Hospital.
Just relax, mate.
A dedicated team
Stop making me laugh.
working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Look forward for me.
Trainee coming through.
Ready for anything
I think I've just about got it cracked, this job.
and everything.
Nobody care? Any pain at all? No.
Still alive. Still alive.
Well, you're stuck with me now.
Wow.
And our boss.
Lucky you, Wes.
Facing life
We're back from the moon.
and death,
Go on, keep going, sweetheart.
trauma
Fabulous.
and tears. Supporting each other through the toughest shifts.
God help me today.
I'm not coming on, and it won't feel warm.
Is this cutlet, is it like this big or is it like this big?
Buckingham Palace one day, Barnsley Hospital next.
Oh, I love it.
It's like champagne.
This is Barnsley Casualty 24/7.
God bless the NHS.
On shift tonight, lead nurse Kelly.
It will be sorted in the next half an hour, if not less.
Consultant Dr. Sue Mason.
I used to be 40. Oh, now it's 21.
And Nurse Bryony.
Alright, Graham. Alright,
So, get ready to share a shift with the team at Barnsley Casualty. Lead Nurse Kelly's in charge of the hub today,
16, first one.
but every bed in the department is occupied, and there's no movement on the wards.
Hey, Ridley, can I please have a female orthopedic bed? I'm just going to take an ambulance and then I've had to phone you back.
To add extra pressure, there's a large backlog of ambulances waiting with new patients.
Which one are you, please?
In Resus, it's Nurse Bryony's last day.
Feel a bit sad. It's a weird feeling, really. I'm probably going to cry later.
But before she can think about leaving, her first emergency is on its way.
How far are you away? 10 minutes.
As she prepares a cubicle, 86-year-old Graham is rushed in.
Can I have you in this one, please? Thank you. His son heard him coughing like this and rung a 999 straight away. Said he was blue all over his face, side nose, completely his lips and things. He's got thick red sputum and has been complaining of central chest pain. Is he allergic to anything? He's not, no. Graham's on it. Thank you, guys. Right, for your time, I'm just going to put you on some more monitoring. Just with you having this chest pain earlier on so we can get another ECG. Who do you live with, Graham?
My son's just moved in because he's sofa surfing.
For the sofa surfing? Alright, okay. Well, it's nice for you to have somebody from company then, isn't it?
With severe chest pains and blood in Graham's mucus,
Thank you for that.
the team needs to get a proper look at his lungs.
Hello, it's staff nurse ringing from Resus. Just wondering if you could come round for a portable chest x-ray.
There's no let-up for Nurse Bryony this morning. She's about to get another emergency to look after. 64-year-old Christine is being seen by Registrar Dr. Eamon Staunton.
Hello, I'm Eamon, I'm one of the doctors. Very nice to meet you. And what's happened to bring you here today, Christine?
Right, well, this morning, I couldn't breathe, I was shaking. And there I got this pin back of my neck and down the end of my spine. I sat and waited for Tara to come.
Yeah.
And when she came, she said, "Your fingernails are black
Yeah.
and your lips are blue."
Christine has a history of illnesses, including COPD, an inflammatory lung disease.
So, we just need to take a little bit of blood from the artery in your wrist. This does hurt, I'm afraid. So if you lie back in your trolley and try and turn the hand over as best you can.
Hello, Christine.
Hello, are you fine?
My name's Bryony. I'm one of the nurses who's looking after you.
Hello.
I've just got you some antibiotics. Can you tell me when your date of birth is?
27th of
Horrible stabbing pain coming out.
Doing really well. I know it's not nice.
June.
Well done. You keep your arm still. Yeah, look, you squeeze my hand if you want to.
Taking a blood sample from the artery in Christine's wrist allows us to look at the levels of oxygen, carbon dioxide, and acids and bases in the blood and enables us to guide Christine's treatment. If we allow the oxygen levels to rise too high, she'll lose her drive to breathe and her carbon dioxide will go up, which could cause her to go into a coma. sorry, I know this is really
No,
slow.
you've got to do it.
Right, sweetheart. Sorry, just squeezing on you a minute. Turn.
All done here.
No.
There.
I'll be back to check on you shortly, alright?
While Christine's bloods are sent to be analysed,
You can be Graham.
radiographer Omer has arrived to x-ray 86-year-old Graham's chest.
Yeah, have them on.
Dr. Staunton checks in on them.
Raymond, nice to meet you, one of the doctors. What's happened to bring you here today?
Real.
Coughing. How long's that been going on for?
It's all about mine.
Okay, you bringing anything up at all?
Wall.
That's right.
Back in the ground.
From...
Very good.
Hey, there we are. Got it in there, haven't we? Perfect. Okay, did you read any of that okay, sir?
Dr. Staunton needs to take a blood test in case Graham has a serious infection.
Are you holding on to a little bit too much carbon dioxide in your blood?
I'm cheery.
Yes, what I'm going to do is I just need to go and see you next door, and I will come and have a chat with you again afterwards, that's alright.
Not for next year.
You're not going to go anywhere? Do you think you've got some time in your schedule you can make for me?
With Graham in a grave condition, Dr. Staunton needs to have a difficult conversation with him in private.
I've had a conversation with Graham, and I've explained to him that unfortunately because of his other health problems and his frailty, a treatment called CPR, which is resuscitation, so pressing up and down on people's chests and delivering electric shocks, unfortunately wouldn't work for him in any circumstance.
He told me if I come in unconscious, that will revive me. So, that's it. They aren't no longer enough strong enough to stand CPR. What can they do about it? So I'm 86-year-old and I've got a chicken. One old boiler.
Just got some nebs for you, sweetheart. No, it can go on off at top.
Student nurse Sarish fits a nebulizer to give him more oxygen.
What's that? Leave me out.
The team needs to increase Graham's oxygen levels quickly.
Alright, Graham. Alright, sweetheart. You will be sorted in the next half an hour, if not less.
Lead nurse Kelly is still battling against an ever-increasing ambulance backlog.
I've got about 15 waiting MU now. No beds.
And to add to the pressure, another patient has arrived in need of urgent care.
Right, Joe. That's me done. All the best. I was going to look after you. Alright.
Very much, yeah.
83-year-old Joan has been brought in with heart palpitations and low blood pressure.
Hello there.
Consultant Dr. Sue Mason comes to find out more.
I feel shocking.
You feel what?
I feel shocking.
You feel shocking. Tell me what's been happening then.
But that's really just
Right, you feel like everything's beating.
fast. I've not had pain like angina with it.
Right.
Please.
And when was that?
I had it 3 times yesterday. Day before. I can't eat.
Why not?
I'm on the floor. And I can't move from this side.
When was that? When did that happen?
14th of
3 months.
14th of February. I fell and floor. It is that way. If a black little for me, his face was real pale. And then falling on that side. And I bounced that way.
Right.
And
You broke your jaw.
Can I take some bloods while you're talking to the doctor? I don't think she's going to swallow these paracetamols that you've prescribed.
Stick your tongue out. Why?
She's been struggling to eat and drink.
You can see she's as dry as a... You look really dehydrated. Are you not eating and drinking much then?
pardon?
Are you not able to eat or drink very much? Poor you. That's not very good, is it?
Make me feel so drained. I know anything or nothing.
I'm not surprised. Yes. I think
think that the older generation tend to be very resilient and very upputting with certain situations which we would rather they weren't. They don't want to bother the doctor, they don't want to come to hospital, they're worried that we might be overwhelmed and really busy, when actually it's precisely people like Joan that we really need to see and we really need to help and sort out. Nearly done. So these will help us to understand what might be going on with your heart and your dizziness and everything. I need to look at your x-ray of your jaw and just see what that's telling us, because we'll need a specialist to look at you while you're in hospital.
Right.
I think you'll be staying in.
All right, thank you.
I'll just get these sent off. I'll be back in a minute.
Joan has several conditions. Dr. Mason needs to find out how to treat her jaw, as well as establish the cause of her other symptoms, before she deteriorates further.
So, can you drink a cup of tea or anything?
If it's some cold water, it's out of my head.
In a straw?
You see.
Morning, dear.
After taking some time off, volunteer Jane is back on shift.
You can't compare Egypt to Barnsley. I love Barnsley, but, you know, Egypt's got the sun.
He's just living the dream, isn't he?
That's it, living the dream.
And it doesn't take long before she finds a problem to fix.
I've come back to broken chairs, so they can't blame me. Work for Goldilocks here that's sat on them and rock 'em, is it? See, that's broke. It's broke 31st. What's wrong with it? We need to fill a form in now.
While Jane gets back into work mode,
Give me 2 minutes, Christine. I'll come and pop it back on for you.
over in Resus, starting her shift.
A calm, relaxed day. It's not likely with me in here. I normally magnetise quite a lot of patients in a short space of time.
And one of them is 86-year-old Graham.
All right, Graham.
He's been given a nebulizer to try and increase his oxygen levels and help his breathing.
Does it want to sit back a bit?
He's waiting for an update from Dr. Staunton.
You just had your x-ray now. You got a pneumonia again, yeah.
Don't want no more last time.
Yeah, it looks like a sort of fairly big old pneumonia. So we're going to give you some antibiotics.
Oh, we know what it is, that's a start.
Yes, exactly. We know what things are, we can get them treated, can't we?
I don't know about getting pneumonia again.
In a very weak condition, the team needs to make sure Graham doesn't deteriorate any further. In the next cubicle is 64-year-old Christine, who is also suffering from the lung condition COPD.
You all right, Christine?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I've got you some antibiotics. All right, you just get your hands still for me.
Thank you very much.
All right.
You've got a lovely name.
Oh, thank you.
It's beautiful. How far on you? Have you qualified?
Yeah, I've been here 2 years.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, a little bit. Why were you a nurse?
Yeah, a long time ago. I was nursing from 1976 till 1999.
Oh, a long time then.
Yeah. Excuse me.
You're all right, darling.
Christine's had blood taken from her artery to test her oxygen
Thank
levels.
you. That was very good.
Dr. Staunton has the results.
You've got a flare-up of your COPD,
Yeah.
and possibly with a chest infection as well. Your oxygen levels are okay on the arterial sample. We've given you some antibiotics, and we'll give you some more nebulizers,
Yeah.
and we'll get a chest x-ray, and we'll get you up onto the ward
Yeah.
when there's a bed available. Does that
Absolutely wonderful.
sound like a fair plan?
It sounds
Fantastic.
like a good plan.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Right, I need a cubicle.
While Christine waits for a bed, back in the hub, lead nurse Kelly is battling patient flow through the department.
I am sorting the bed out and I am really sorry, okay, darling. I'm just trying to get hold of ward, but there's just no answer.
Which means she can't reduce the number of patients waiting. And it's not just Casualty that's up against it. Other wards are just as full.
Can I just tell you that it took Gynae 3 hours and I'm still waiting?
One patient still in the ambulance assessment bay is 83-year-old Joan. Since being brought in with heart palpitations, Dr. Mason has discovered there's more to her condition than was first apparent.
So she clearly had a very nasty fall. She had various things treated, but it didn't really broken her jaw at the same time as falling, and that hasn't been fully addressed yet. So she's been struggling to eat and drink for 3 months. She's struggling to walk because of the other injuries, and now she's quite weak. She's lost 4 stone in weight. She's getting a lot of palpitations, so the heart's beating really fast, and we don't know why. I just want to have a listen at your heart and your chest. Quickly fill your tummy.
I used to be 40 and now 21.
Not for the right reasons either. I know.
I don't want to wear the one.
Just have a listen at your heart. Yeah, of course you can, yeah. Your daughter's here. Hello. I'm Dr. Mason.
I'm Kado.
Hello. We've just been hearing about this fall.
Yeah.
She sounds like she's really been in the wars.
Yeah, that was February 14th, wasn't it? And we found out last week that her jaw's been broken.
She's just been telling me and I can't believe it. So I need to have a look at the x-rays.
And then obviously she's got these ulcers in her buttocks.
Has she?
Yeah. So they've now stopped her heart tablet in a Casualty.
Yeah.
And put her on isosorbide and a nitrate. And she's only been on that since Friday. So all this dizziness has got worse.
Right, but that may be an adjustment phase.
Yeah. Well, this is what I've said
And
to
it
her.
may be that she needs to just stick with it a little bit and just see if that improves, because it might do. You know, when you change tablets, it can just throw you off a little bit.
Yeah.
Bless her.
Now she's in body and walls, hasn't she?
It's really sure.
Well, let's get you some painkillers sorted out now, and I'm going to give her a bit of fluid as well. She's having a cup of tea in a minute. They've just gone to make that. Obviously, we'll be admitting her,
Yeah.
and just let's try and get things a bit more sorted out. Yeah.
Thank you.
To work out the next step for Joan, Dr. Mason examines her x-rays.
Right, she's had millions of x-rays. So this was the jaw. Looks like she may have broken something up here. It's not that clear, actually. I'm guessing she couldn't open her mouth very much. I think she's broken part of the jaw off it moves when you open and close your mouth, which would explain why she can't open and close her mouth very well. To be honest, I would expect that might heal on its own, so I'm not sure why it hasn't done.
While Dr. Mason makes her assessment, Joan and her daughter Kay have moved into a cubicle in Majors.
Yeah, good, aren't they? Cheers.
Cheers. She's been in and out since February. If we've had her home a week in between, we've done well. She couldn't stand right, it's affected her mobility. Continence, it's affected everything. But all this has cost this broken jaw.
I guess they could operate now. So it may be that there isn't a lot that they can do, and it may be a question of trying to rehabilitate her as much as possible by just changing the diet slightly. I mean, it doesn't sound very satisfactory, does it? But that's, possibly where we are now. Right, how are we doing? How's that tea going down?
It's managing a bit of it.
Good. I think with some decent dietitian advice, she'd probably make some good progress.
Yeah.
But the jaw will tighten up and the muscles will, so, the more we can do now, the better, really. So I've had a word with the frailty team, because they'd look at everything.
Yeah.
The sores, the mouth, but we'll admit you onto the ward initially, and they're going to come and see you there.
Yeah.
And they're going to come and put a bit of fluid in anyway, just to top you up.
Yeah.
All right.
Gin.
Yeah, I'll have one with you. Well, it's whatever you fancy at this point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll get to the bed soon, but I can't tell you how long it's going to be, all right?
No problem.
Okay, all the best. Thank you. Bye.
Joan was moved up to the frailty ward, where she stayed for 4 weeks. Over in paediatrics, Dr. Cara Evans is on to her next patient. 3-year-old Noah has been brought in by mum Susie.
Your legs hurting. I know, you're not in a very good mood, are you, today?
What's been going on?
So he's not been well for a few days. He was first sick on Saturday, but we thought, because we were travelling, we thought it were travel sickness. And then he's been complaining that his leg's been hurting for a few days. Being a little bit sleepy, not wanting to really eat. And then the early hours of this morning, he got himself up and went to the toilet a couple of times and had diarrhoea. Had it again this morning when he got up. And then I brought him home, and he just kept getting worse, like crying and really upset. And then he was sick a couple of times. And then he just went really, really floppy. His head was going back and I couldn't get him to sit up. He asked to go to the toilet. He needed a wee, but nothing was coming out. And then his hands and feet went really cold and his skin just went really mottled, like quite a dark mottled colour.
You mentioned a bit about difficulty
that when I first noticed he were a little bit off it, he asked to go for a wee, but then he was just stood and he just said he can't do it and said nothing were happening. Yeah.
No, his symptoms are quite concerning to me at the moment. He's quite pale and floppy. He's been sick and he's not been going for a wee very much today. That could point towards there being an infection, so we've got to ask lots of questions, work out where that infection might be.
Any difficulty with his breathing?
He's been breathing fast, but that's not unusual for him. And his heart rate were a little bit fast. But he spent most of last night, he was just up, just saying his legs were hurting and he was having to rub his legs and putting some heat pads and things like that on just to try and ease it a bit.
No injuries to the leg at all?
No, he's not fallen or anything.
Any change in his weight? Noticed it's very tiny.
He has lost a bit of weight. When I spoke to the doctor this morning, I'd asked him about his tailbone. You can feel it's quite prominent. So he does seem to have lost a little bit of weight, which we'll put him down obviously to him not really eating as much.
Exhibiting some worrying symptoms, but with no obvious cause, Dr. Evans needs to get to the bottom of Noah's symptoms quickly.
I'm not going to be on time, I know that for a fact.
Lead nurse Kelly is 11 hours into her shift.
Hi, it's Kelly. I don't know which phone to answer. I've got them both.
And she's still no closer to reducing the number of ambulances waiting.
One patient relative.
Yeah.
Yeah? Which number are you, babes?
1776.
Right, okay.
Thank you.
She's trying to figure out a plan.
This lady's going up to 36 when I get hold of them, and I've got a lady going to gynae, so that's them two, so then they can come out. Yes, I'll sort it.
In the assessment hub, Nurse Georgia is seeing her next patient, 70-year-old retired teacher Stephen.
No worries.
Who looks somewhat familiar.
I think I know you actually. Mr. Powell at Darton.
That's me.
I used to dance with Miss Powell.
Oh, right, it's her that sent me.
Is it?
I finished about 6-7 years
You
since.
retired now?
Yeah, I'm
What
done
was it that you used to teach?
English.
English. Oh, lovely. So, no allergies. And what's the problem today?
Car bolt. One of these electric car bolts come down on my head and...
Well, that today?
Yeah, I was in Manchester Airport about 4:30 this afternoon.
Ah. Did it just come down on your head?
It did. I think my head was actually going up as my daughter pressed the button for it to close while I was just sort of shoving cases in.
Oh, dear.
So I think my upward momentum and the bolt's downward momentum combined to give it quite a crack.
Yeah.
It bled a lot at first.
So have you just come home off holiday then?
Yeah, we've just been for the mini break to Tenerife.
It's not what you want, is it, when you get back on
No,
holiday?
it's one of them things, isn't it?
Yeah. So any loss of consciousness at all?
No.
So I'm just going to check your blood pressure and your temperature, is that alright?
Sure, yeah.
Is that on your finger? All your observations are fine, okay.
Good.
I'm just going to have a look at that head now, if that's alright.
Yep, please do. And then what I need you to tell me is that you can just stick a bit of glue on it and send me home, so I'm not sitting to see a doctor first.
We'll have to get a doctor to see you, but we'll have a look how bad it is now, okay. Who's done your bandage?
Nick.
Oh,
Right.
shit. Well, I've just pulled your mask off at the same time. Oh, your mask has come off. I'm just going to put some wet gauze on it just for a temporary measure, is that alright?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. You whatever I need.
You just stay still for me. I'm just going to put a bit of bandage on. That's not too tight, is it?
No. I don't think it's not for staying on, it's just
Oh,
come
is it
off.
come off?
Yeah, immediately.
Oh, God.
I
I might just have to put a bit of tape on it. Yours did better trick, didn't it? I might just have to put a little bit of tape on. It's only a temporary measure anyway, it's just so that the blood don't dry up.
Stephen now has to wait for a doctor to assess him.
There you go.
Thank you, babe.
You're welcome.
If he shows signs of head trauma, he'll have to stay in hospital.
Right, if you want to follow me, I'll show you where to sit and wait. Is that okay?
Back in Resus, 86-year-old Graham has been told he has severe pneumonia.
I'm married born and bred, we can't go on, can we? Not bad though, 86 is it? It's not a bad innings. I'm batted well.
He calls his family to update them on his condition.
Oh,
Hello, Lucy. Hi, Grandad. Yes, here I am. Yeah, how did you know? Oh, you've been a good girl for your brother. See that finger, see that thumb, see that fist. You'll get some. She's not talking. Now she's on his toe, isn't she? So let her off. You more? Yeah. Well, I'm not too bad. I feel alright just now. You don't want to go much serious though, he says. So I've got to slow down, so you want to get that overcracking. Okay. Right, ta-da. Don't forget down for a walk.
Nurse Bryony starts Graham on his course of antibiotics.
Graham, you're not allergic to anything, are you? I've got some antibiotics for you. How are you feeling? You feel better when you first came in?
To the acute medical ward, where he made a slow but full recovery.
Are you alright, Christine?
Yes, I am. How are you getting on?
I'm alright, thank you.
Good, that's good.
Olivia's made you a drink, hasn't she?
She's on drink.
You're on drink too? She's looking after you well then, isn't
She
she?
is. Now, somebody has told me that I was also burnt out. It's a very special day today for you.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what it is?
It's my last day. I'm working at Barnsley. I'm going to work in Sheffield instead.
What are you going to do?
A&E.
Oh,
I'm not going to do anything else.
No.
I originally wanted to become a nurse because my nan got diagnosed with dementia when I was 16 and I spent a lot of time looking after her.
You've got to push on for these chances, haven't you?
Definitely.
You know, so that is brilliant.
Thank you.
Oh.
I think I really chose A&E because I really wanted to see and look after people on their worst days and see if I could make them a little bit better.
Oh, I wish you all happiness and everything for the best up there.
Thank you, Christine. That's lovely.
You'll be fine, I'm sure.
Over in paediatrics, 3-year-old Noah has been brought in by mum Susie. He's been suffering from diarrhea and sickness, is lethargic and hasn't been able to wee. Worried about his condition, Dr. Evans is assessing him.
As much as I like that Scooby-Doo top, can we take your top off so I can see your tummy? Yeah?
Oh, good boy.
Scooby-Doo used to be my favourite when I was a little one. Very good. Well done. Are you ticklish?
Why?
You sure? A little tickle on your tummy as well. Is there any unusual rashes or bruising on you?
No, just the mottled look to his arms and legs. He's just not had that before.
And your mummy tells me, Noah, that your leg's been hurting you. Which one?
It's this one, isn't it? You keep saying it's been hurting.
It's difficult when little kids are unwell. They don't like being examined by someone that's not the mum and dad. Children don't always present like adults do for an infection, so I have a much more thorough assessment looking in their ears and looking in their throat for every child to make sure that we're not missing something slightly unusual when a child comes in looking unwell. Can you look over there for me? Look and see, and maybe Mum can see if the light shines all the way through and comes out the other ear. Can you see it, Mum?
We might see a little light there, Noah.
You're being very good. I'm not too sure what's going on. I think we'll need to see over the next hour or so how he does with eating and drinking. Because it would be a little bit more reassuring to drink something and ideally eat something and then have a wee one. I'll see you in a bit, Noah. Thank you very much. I don't really know at the moment. So I'm going to give it time and have a little think about it and see if we can get some improvement through having something to drink and giving him some medication.
And a stressful time for mum Susie.
Just a bit worried, really. We're just not sure with his skin changing and him being quite floppy and lethargic, so he's just got to do his fluids and see how much it takes over the next couple of hours.
If Noah can't urinate in this time, it could be the sign of something serious.
That feel a bit better. Yeah.
In the hub, Nurse Olivia has a surprise.
Oh, Morgan's robot.
Is it Bryony's last day?
Oh, gosh, you're off in shit.
Let's
dig in.
Unfortunately, Nurse Bryony is stuck in a busy resus.
I'll start this then. Look at shut.
Certainly not me.
We're in.
But that's not stopping the rest of the team.
Thank you.
So kind.
She'll have to wait and see if there's any left when she's done.
Right, Christine, we're just waiting for the porter to come and then we'll take you up to ward. Let you know them upstairs.
64-year-old Christine was brought in after a flare-up of a lung condition COPD.
Can I please ask you, have we got any results? Have we got any idea what's going on?
So, doctor's documented that he thinks that you've had an exacerbation of COPD. So he thinks you've got a bit of an infection, and that should have made your COPD worse. That's why you were needing oxygen. So we've given you antibiotics to treat that, and steroids and nebs and stuff, and then you seem to have settled down a lot more. So I'll go and chase up where Porter is.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I need some little oxygen, please, because she's on a bed.
Christine stayed in hospital for a week until she fully recovered. Lead nurse Kelly's in the hub, trying to keep track of the growing number of waiting ambulances.
Which one are you? Which vehicle are you in? 37? You hadn't arrived. You hadn't notified. What's your number and I'll do it? Cheers, hon. No, it's late.
Part of the problem is patients can't be moved out of the department quickly enough. It's causing a backlog.
We are currently just tied up with no movement, so we've got no beds. The floor is really difficult. We'll get there.
Also dealing with the backlog of patients in majors is Dr. Johnny Cooper. He's seen Stephen in cubicle 15.
Right, sir. I'm Johnny, one of the A&E doctors. Nice to meet you.
And nice to meet you as well.
So I understand you've had a fight with a car boot, is it? Yeah?
Yeah.
And you suffered a cut to your head, is that right?
Yeah, it bled quite a bit at first, but they very quickly sort of got something on it and gave it a squeeze, but they just thought I'd come and have a check and see whether it needed anything else.
Any closing? Okay. So when it hit your head...
Put my hand to my head and I could feel the blood straight away. My wife asked me to sit down and then sort of a panic, oh, it's bleeding, it's bleeding. And, I mean, heads bleed when you cut them.
They do indeed. May I have a little look?
Of course, you do that.
Sorry, I've got to have a little mosey. Okay. So these boot closure things, they're pretty...
it's a heavy boot.
They are heavy, aren't they? But they're nice and slow, aren't they? I hope. It's not a super fast one.
Obviously not that slow.
Sure. You did enough for you.
Yeah.
Fine. Come to a very quick nerve test if that's all right. Can you pop your glasses off for me?
Yeah.
You can pop them on your knee. Does your face feel normal? Feels
it does.
Perfectly sensible? Good. Have a raise of your eyebrows for me. Shut your eyes tight shut. Good. Give me a big grin. Puff your cheeks out. Good. Can you hear me rustling? And is it pretty symmetrical?
Yeah.
Good. Turn your head into my hand that way. And then that way. Good. Big wide mouth for me. Stick your tongue out. Say ah, big wide mouth. Good. Shrug your shoulders up. Push up. Just say yes when you see my finger. Good. Good.
Yes.
No funny numbness, tingling in your legs. I'm going to move. You just home in. Great. That's it. Yeah. You look up if you want. Kick forward. All the way up to the ceiling. Then fall backwards. And then look all the way towards that wall. And all the way this way. Good. Fine. Nothing painful down the back. Good. Have a seat. Feel free to pop your mask up. So, you've got nothing that would tick a box to say we need to scan your head, which is great. The cut is actually quite clean and nicely closed, alright? I don't think you need it stitched. I think what we'll do is we'll get it really good clean. A bit of glue, and then we'll cover it. It's basically trying to keep it dry for the next day or two.
Yeah.
Okay, bear with us. We'll come back, we'll give it a good clean, and we'll close it up. Okay?
Lovely.
Good man.
Thank you.
I'm probably being overcautious, but any head injury, we'll just basically check all nerves and make sure that there's no signs that would tell us that there's a bleed on the brain or a brain injury. So basically went through the whole thing to be absolutely sure, and then it's more about focusing on Stephen's head wound.
No serious injury is good news for Stephen, but a busy department bursting with patients means he's going to be waiting a long time. Lead nurse Kelly has managed to free up some space in the department.
Right, so she's gone. Took her down. Now took her. I'm red hot. It's warm in here today.
But the pressure is still on to get through the large number of waiting ambulances.
Get him over there.
Yeah, and then
Get that scrubbed. He should be on the back corridor. Get scrubbed, and then at least the ones that we see in there we can pull out and floor.
And it affects everyone.
Everyone's a little bit on edge, that every room is full. It's really challenging for the doctors to find somewhere to see patients. It's really challenging for the nurses to do all the treatments and care that they need to be able to do. And it's really challenging for the wider hospital getting people out of the emergency department into beds that often aren't there.
In paediatrics, Dr. Evans has been monitoring toddler Noah for the last 3 hours. He's with Mum Susie.
Sandwich. Yeah. Yeah, sandwich.
Noah came to Casualty after his condition deteriorated overnight. He became lethargic and was unable to urinate.
Yeah, it's been quite stressful. I think because some of the symptoms he got, you worry about things like sepsis. So it was quite worrying when when his skin was really bad and he's been quite unwell and with his cold hands and feet and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's been quite stressful.
Dr. Carr has been trying to get to the bottom of his symptoms.
Just had a chat with one of the nurses about what's gone on.
Yeah.
Really reassuring of the babies.
Yeah.
Now, all his numbers are fine, and I'm happy to let it go home. The only worry in my mind is about the leg pain.
Yeah.
We don't really have an explanation for that at the minute.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm still happy to let it go back, he's not had any fever. He's been walking on it just fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, sounds like the GP has got that in hand as well. That they've got some planned investigation and follow up.
It's really reassuring to see that Noah has had some food and had a wee while he's in the department with us today. It just shows that children can deteriorate quickly, but they can recover quickly as well, which is quite a nice part of the job.
Are you taking that sandwich with you? Yeah.
You're so much brighter than when we first saw you.
Yeah.
That's a really good sign.
And you're less angry. Oh, that's nice.
Thank you. So you're gonna look after Mummy when you go home. Good.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, God, you can go home. Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah, very relieved. It's good that we can go. It's nice not to have to stay. Hopefully that might, just be okay, and fingers crossed. You got your sandwich. Basically, he's been coming home from the airport tonight. He's gone into his boot to put his cases in, and his car boot's an electronic boot, and it's come down onto his head. So he's on new
Yeah.
To help get through the backlog of patients in the busy department, Nurse Bradley has moved out of resus and into majors to glue Stephen's head.
Hello, Stephen.
Hello.
I understand you've had an electric boot close on your head.
That's right, yeah.
You've not made me want one of those. I'll stick with manual ones. Right, sweetheart, just going to feel this off. Let's have a look. Oh, it's quite neat, really.
It was great.
Not a great finish to it, though.
No, but these things are meant to try, is it?
Right, just popping glue in now, sweetheart.
Yeah.
I think we all need a holiday after the last couple of years, don't we?
Yeah.
So glue will dry and form like a scab, and then it'll just come off on its own.
Brilliant.
Perfect, that's it, you're free to go.
Lovely, thank you very much indeed. See you later.
No worries,
Bye.
sweetheart. You just need to press that on that, where that red light is, darling. Take care.
Thanks a lot, bye.
Lead nurse Kelly has finally managed to get some patient flow in the department.
And if we tell other crew, young lass is 40, 18. So you're 16, other crew's 18.
Which frees up beds for yet more patients arriving by ambulance.
Being busy, but it is what it is. The joys of working in A&E. I love my job. I've always loved my job. Starting as a cadet and working my way up, so yeah. No 2 days are the same. And it's a good team.
Nurse Brian is at the end of her last day in Barnsley Casualty, and the team has a surprise for her.
I feel like I'm going now. No, I'm going to cry. I know what I'm doing tonight. Thank you.
What's that?
This is a ginger problem colouring book. When people ask you if you're a natural redhead, I don't know what I'm doing tonight, getting drunk and colouring in. You'll have to watch me Snapchat. You'll be fine. Yeah, I know. I've been feeling a bit conflicted, really. I'm really excited. It's the end of
for 2 years working with amazing people, and it means that then I've only got a week till I start my new job, so that's really exciting. But at the same time, I feel really sad.
It might be the last shift for Nurse Bryony at Barnsley Casualty, but the rest of the team will be back tomorrow to do it all again. Next time on Casualty 24/7.
You hit your head on the desk, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, you've got a lovely gash to your head.
Jess, you're okay. I know you don't like that, do you?
I have a little bit of bad news for you. What? You've broken your hip.
Sorry.
You're not a bad mum at all.
And that's new Casualty 24/7 next Monday at 9. Brand new tomorrow at 9, Entries on Earth, South Korea. Next tonight, the injuries are all life-threatening, from a head-on collision to an elderly man who suffered a devastating fall in 999 critical condition.